What if I told you that you could do everything right with money, follow every rule, make all the smart decisions, and still end up stuck? Not broke. Not failing. Not in debt. Not obviously struggling. But quietly, invisibly, painfully not moving forward. No big mistake. No obvious disaster. No single moment you can point to and say, that's where it went wrong. Just years passing. Decades passing. A career built. A salary earned. Bills paid. Responsibilities managed. And yet, nothing really changing. The same feeling of tightness. The same lack of options. The same invisible ceiling that never seems to lift. And the scary part? Most people never realize it. They never see the trap because it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like success. It looks like success. It sounds like success when you describe it to others. But underneath, it's just a different kind of cage. A comfortable cage. A respectable cage. A cage that most people never even know they're in. Today, I'm going to show you one hidden pattern that repeats in every generation. Different people, different lifestyles, different decades, different choices. But the exact same outcome. For versions of the same trap, each one dressed up to look like success. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which version of the trap you're living in right now. Imagine you're born into a world where no one gives you rules. No instructions. No manual for how to live a successful life. No one sits you down and says, here's exactly what you need to do to be happy. But somehow, without anyone explaining it, you still learn what success looks like. You see it in movies, where the successful person drives a nice car and lives in a beautiful home. You hear it from parents, who tell you to work hard so you can have a better life than they did. You notice what people admire, what gets praised, what makes others look at you with respect. And slowly, without realizing it, you build a picture in your head. A picture that says, this is what a good life looks like. This is what I should aim for. This is what will make me feel like I've made it. One day, you start chasing that picture. Not because you decided to. Not because you sat down and thought about what you truly want. But because it feels normal. It feels like the obvious path. It feels like what everyone does. That's where the trap begins. Not with a bad decision, but with a picture you never chose. A version of success that was handed to you before you were old enough to question it. Let's start with the first version of the trap. The one that has caught generations of people who thought they were building security. Meet Elon. He grew up watching something simple. His parents rented. They moved often. They never owned anything solid they could call their own. And in his world, in the stories he heard, in the way people talked, owning a house meant one thing. You made it. You arrived. You were secure. So when he finally got a job that paid well enough, when the bank looked at his income and smiled and said, you can afford this much, he didn't hesitate. He bought the biggest house he could qualify for. Because that's what success looked like. That's what his parents never had. That's what he had been working toward his whole life. And for years, it worked. Family gatherings in the big living room. Stability for his children. Respect from neighbors. Everything looked perfect. From the outside, Elon had done exactly what he was supposed to do. But here's the problem that nobody talks about. The problem that only reveals itself years later. That house, the symbol of success, wasn't building freedom. It was holding it. Most of his money, most of his income, most of his wealth, was locked inside walls he couldn't spend. He had a valuable asset on paper, but in reality, he had a monthly payment that never ended, taxes that never stopped, maintenance that never quit, and a life that depended on his income never being interrupted. Now imagine being older. Imagine having a house that's worth more than you ever dreamed, but still worrying about money. Still checking your bank account before buying something. Still feeling tight at the end of every month. Still trapped. That's the trap. Not the house itself. Houses can be wonderful. The trap is believing that the house, by itself, is enough. That owning something impressive equals building freedom. That looking successful from the outside means you're actually successful on the inside. Now let's move forward. Meet a different Elon. Different age. Different life. Different version of the same trap. This Elon works hard. He gets promotions. He climbs the ladder. Every few years, his income grows. And every time his income grows, his life grows with it. A better car. A bigger apartment. Nicer restaurants. Better vacations. More expensive clothes. A lifestyle that keeps pace with his earnings. Each upgrade feels earned. Logical. Deserved. He worked hard, so he should enjoy the rewards. He made more money, so he should live better. That's what success means, right? But something invisible is happening beneath the surface. Something he never notices because it happens so slowly. His lifestyle is chasing his income at exactly the same speed. Every raise gets absorbed. Every bonus gets spent. Every increase in earning power is matched by an increase in spending power. So no matter how much he earns, no matter how many promotions he gets, no matter how hard he works, he never feels ahead. He never builds a gap. He never creates space. He's like a runner on a treadmill who keeps increasing the speed but never actually moves forward. This is the second trap. Not spending money. Not being irresponsible. But never creating space between what you earn and what you need. The gap that allows wealth to grow never appears because every dollar that comes in is already spoken for by the lifestyle that grew to match it. Now meet Elon at 38. His world is different. He's watched the first two versions of the trap play out around him. He's seen people trapped by houses and by lifestyle inflation. So he chooses a different path. Houses are too expensive. Life feels uncertain. The old rules don't seem to work anymore. So he decides to live differently. He chooses experiences over things. Travel over mortgages. Memories over square footage. And everywhere he looks, people agree with him. Memories matter more than money. Live your life now. You deserve to enjoy it. Don't wait until you're too old to do the things you love. And they're not wrong. Experiences do matter. Life shouldn't be postponed. You shouldn't wait until you're too old to enjoy what you've earned. But here's what quietly happens. What starts as balance slowly shifts. Instead of building a future while enjoying the present, he starts replacing one with the other. Instead of saving while traveling, he stops saving. Instead of investing while exploring, he spends everything. The balance tips. Now he has stories. But not structure. Memories. But not momentum. Adventures. But no assets. And deep down, a small voice starts asking a question he doesn't want to answer. What happens later? What happens when I'm older? What happens when I can't work as much? What happens when I want to slow down? That's the third trap. Not enjoying life. Not traveling. Not making memories. But forgetting to build while you're living. Letting the pendulum swing so far toward the present that the future gets left behind. Now the newest version. And this one is everywhere. It's in your feed, in your notifications, in the stories you scroll past every day. Elon is 24. And he knows everything. He's watched YouTube videos. He's read books. He's studied investing, money, freedom. He started early, smarter than most, more aware than his parents ever were. But there's something new in his world. Something his parents never had. An audience. A stage. A world of people watching. Now success isn't just something you have. It's something you show. The clean room. The nice setup. The perfect lighting. The curated feed. Everything looking right. And people see it. They believe it. They comment. They admire. They think he's already there. And sometimes, he thinks that too. But here's the truth. The truth that gets lost in the performance. Looking successful and being successful are not the same thing. They never have been. And sometimes, the energy spent showing success, the attention spent curating an image, the focus spent on how things look, slows down actually building it. That's the fourth trap. Not ignorance. Not lack of knowledge. But performance. Mistaking the appearance of progress for actual progress. Believing that if it looks like you've arrived, you must have arrived. Now step back. Look at all 4 versions together. Different lives. Different decades. Different choices. But one pattern running through all of them. They all chased a picture. A version of success that was given to them by the world, not chosen by them. The house. The lifestyle. The experiences. The image. Each one felt like progress. Each one felt like the right path. Each one was a different mask on the same face. And they all focused on the same thing. Looking like they had arrived. Instead of actually arriving. Instead of building something real underneath. Instead of creating freedom that doesn't depend on how things look. That's why the trap is so hard to see. Because it doesn't feel wrong. It feels like progress. It feels like success. It looks like what everyone else is doing. And when everyone around you is running in the same direction, it's almost impossible to notice you're not actually moving forward. Now here's the part that matters. Some people escape this. Some people see the pattern, recognize the trap, and choose differently. And when you study them, when you look at what they actually do, they all share one simple thing. They ignore the picture. They stop asking, what looks successful? And start asking, what actually builds freedom? They stop chasing the image and start building the foundation. They make uncomfortable choices. Choices that don't look impressive on Instagram. Choices that don't get admiration from neighbors. Choices that feel strange when everyone around them is upgrading. They drive the simpler car, not because they can't afford a nicer one, but because they understand what the payment would cost them in freedom. They live in the smaller space, not because they don't want more, but because they know that every extra square foot is a permanent weight. They skip some upgrades, not because they don't enjoy nice things, but because they're playing a longer game. And instead of spending the difference on more stuff, more image, more performance, they invest it. Quietly. Consistently. Boringly. While others are showing progress, they are building it. While others are performing success, they are constructing it. While others are impressing strangers, they are creating options for themselves. If you remember one thing from this video, make it this. One rule. Simple. Powerful. Life-changing. Build first. Upgrade later. Not forever. Not miserably. Not denying yourself everything you want. Just long enough for your money to start working for you. Just long enough to create the gap. Just long enough to build the foundation that can support the upgrades without collapsing under their weight. Because once your money starts working for you, once the gap exists, once the foundation is solid, everything changes. Upgrades become choices, not traps. Nice things become rewards, not weights. Success becomes real, not just a picture. Build first. Upgrade later. So now I want to ask you something. And I want you to be honest. Not with me. With yourself. Are you building your life? Or are you just building the image of it? Are you actually moving forward? Or are you just making it look like you are? Which trap are you in right now? The house? The lifestyle? The experiences? The appearance? Or some version you created yourself? Take a moment. Think about it. Be honest. Because the first step out of any trap is seeing it. The first step toward freedom is recognizing that you're not there yet. The picture you've been chasing, the version of success you've been performing for, the image you've been building, is not the same as freedom. It never was. And the sooner you see that, the sooner you can start building something real. So write it in the comments. Not to impress anyone. Not to look smart. Not to perform. But to be real with yourself. Which trap are you in right now? What picture have you been chasing? What version of success are you realizing might not be freedom? I'll read them. Because this isn't just a video. It's a conversation. It's a chance to see something together. And if this video made you see things differently, if it helped you recognize something you've been living without knowing it, subscribe to this channel. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about money. We don't just give you tips and strategies. We expose the invisible systems that keep people stuck for years without realizing it. We show you the traps. And we show you how to escape. New videos every week. See you in the next one.